Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Priya Bihani, and today I'm going to be talking about how to create your own proposal on GSOC proposal. So, I'm going to be talking about how to create it and what section you should add and what things you should definitely avoid adding in your proposal. So, I'm going to share my screen, which will show you my previous year's proposal, and we can go through it together. So here's my proposal, and we have a little summary in the uh, Google Docs, which is really helpful for this presentation. You can see the sections over here, and the first section, which is this one, is just your introduction, basically your name and contact details and your socials. Then you should have your project's title. This is just semantics. You can order it in whatever way you want. And then the next section is about me. Now you need to take care of couple of points about when you are writing this section about me. First of all, this should be concise. Let me because the about if the about me stretches 1 to 2 page, it's not a GSOC proposal. It's about you. So it should be concise, and uh, it should depict your past experiences rather than interest or your known coding interest or coding interest. It should depict your past experiences, which is relevant to your current project, right? So yeah, that's it about me, which is it should be around 3 to 4 paragraphs long, and yeah, it should not be 1 to 2 page long, which is really not the case here. The next section here is overview. Now, most people don't add this overview title or overview section, but I think the need of it because in the overview, I depicted my build plan. What's a build plan? How am I gonna address? How am I gonna make my project in time? uh, that's uh, that's my overview. Like in the overview, I showed my prototype. I created a working prototype for my project, and I shared a link of it. And I showed the wireframes for it, and I also showed the internal working through this flowchart. Now you can add code snippets code snippets in here, but I think flowchart is a really good way to show the internal working and how you think you can achieve that. So in the overview, I actually described how I made my prototype and what are the approaches I'm gonna use for my project. So yeah, it's the technical aspect of your is a technical aspect of your project. It shows that. Mm, okay, so and one more point, yeah, before I forgot, one more point, add the wireframes and the flowchart in your project, because first of all, it looks good. And the proposal is creating a proposal is all about gaining the trust of the organization, trust and confidence of the organization that yes, you can do this project and you can do this project in time. That's what proposal is all about. So every word you write should be on the track for that. Now, after overview, we have goals section. Now, this is again, this is a title not many people do, but I added it because I wanted to showcase the features of it. Overview was the technical aspect of my project. Goals are the actual features that I'm going to add in my project. First is like I was working on the image manipulation. So cropping is a feature, adding text is a feature, and doodling is a feature. Now, uh, how I'm going to achieve this is also written over here in the points. Now, whenever in my proposal, you'll see that many of the information I represent is in points, which is very useful because that's how mentors can judge your proposal very fast. So uh in the goals you can also add the extra functionalities or the or the things you want to play around with in your project, right? So for example, in my project, I was only required to add crop and text functionality. But I also added a doodling because it was really a good feature to add. So yeah, that's about the goals. And one more thing, I added the overview and goals according to my project. It can happen that your project does not fit into these categories, so you can literally shift it or just add another headings. Now the main thing is timeline. Like in your proposal, the biggest the most important thing, the most important section you can add is your timeline. Now goals, now overview describe how are you going to make the project, the technical aspects of it. The goals are more like what are you going to make it. Timeline depicts three of them, including when. So timeline depicts when are you going to make what, and how are you going to make it. So you have the timeline, the title of the title of the time period, and then you can have how are you going to do it. So yeah, this is the timeline, but in the timeline, make sure it is in points, because paragraphs are tend to be boring and most people won't read it. um, and also when you are uh, when you are selecting weeks, like week 1 to 2, week 2 to 4, try not to group many of them together, like week 1 to 6 or 6 weeks together. That's not pleasing. How will you work six how will you depict 6 weeks work in one paragraph? So yeah, so this is about the timeline. Now we have the conclusion. Conclusion will just basically the concise overview, goals, and timeline. Now the section availability is something I think it's mandatory to add. You the I think it is mandatory to add work experience. And now you should structure your work experience like that a mentor or whoever is reading your proposal can verify your background. Like if you wrote that, yeah, you were a freelancer in About Me, then you should add some freelancing projects over here. You should add your internships or personal projects you're proud of. Then the open source contributions, like if you're this is an open source program, so I think you should add open source contributions uh, with the Rocket.Chat or with other or with the or previous contributions. Now, after the timeline, the most important headline is why me. Like the question the organization will ask you is why should we select you? So that's the thing. Why should we select you? And the answer of this is uh, not really you not really specified. Like you have to personalize it, and you have to personalize this answer with showing with show also show off your also show off your skills. You should add the experiences. Try not to repeat yourself, but you should add the experiences here as well, which will make you relevant for this project. Why should Rocket.Chat select you? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that's about the structure and semantics of proposal. But when you're creating a proposal, it's not a day's job. It's not even a week's job. It takes weeks to create this proposal. And you're gonna create some drafts first, then you're gonna finalize your proposal. And those drafts can be, I mean, for in the starting we have to create a draft proposal and share it with our mentors, and they will review it and they will give you some pointers, which I think is great, because I remember I shared my proposal with my mentor and he gave me some of the amazing pointers, and it did work out for me. The last point I would like to tell you is that it's not that important But if you're creating a proposal, pick a template and do the formatting. I mean, if you're creating a proposal, it might look cool uh, or aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, that's it for me.